Okay, in this video, folks, I'm going to show you how I made a barrel stove using a Vogelzang barrel stove kit. And this barrel was a wood stove that I had in a much larger cabin. And this is made out of a 35-gallon barrel. It's been sitting outside and it's got kind of rusty, and I'm not going to use it anymore. And while I had it sitting outside, somebody decided to steal the door off of it. And I still don't know what they thought they were going to do with that cast iron door, except maybe make their own barrel stove. But anyway, I used this for a couple of years in a larger cabin out of a 35-gallon barrel. You can get barrels, if you just ask around, a lot of the places will have barrels. You want to make sure you get one that's not been used for chemicals, petroleum products and stuff like that. That's okay, because that'll burn off on the inside. You want to clean them out real good with some sand, roll them around, put some sand in them, roll them around. Clean them out real good before you use your barrel. And then you want to paint it with some stove black, which you can get in spray paint cans. You want to spray them down real good. I'd give them 2 or 3 coats because it will burn off. So you want to spray everything up with some stove black. Now when it comes to cutting the holes, you're going to use probably a drill or a cutting torch and a cold chisel is probably the easiest way. If you have a cutting torch, you can cut around them pretty quick. What I did is I drilled holes all the way around, and I'll show you the template that you use for the door. But I drilled holes all the way around it, and then I used a cold chisel and knocked out the door opening. And it doesn't matter if it's kind of rough, as long as it sits inside the template, it's okay, because the door is going to cover that all up and make it look nice and fresh and useful. So don't worry if your hole's a little bit on the rough side. Mine certainly was. You'll do the same thing for the flue, for the draft opening, and it comes with a collar. And I'll show you the collar here, but you'll do the same thing. You'll knock out your hole for your draft, and then it comes with the bolts. It also comes with the legs. Now this was an old Vogelzang kit, and it had different types of legs. It had these steel types of legs, and you had to do each leg separately, and they were kind of difficult to get balanced. Now the new Vogelzang kit has different legs on it that are cast iron. That's a lot better. Now you can do these out of a 35-gallon barrel, which is what I used, and that's a good size for a medium-sized cabin. Or you can do a 55-gallon barrel if you got a real large place, a shop to heat up. They also make a double barrel kit in which you would put another barrel on top of this barrel, and one vent flue goes in through the front, one vent flue goes out of the top barrel out of the back. And what that does is it acts to capture extra heat out of a stove. So as the smoke in that goes up into the second barrel, then it heats up that second barrel and keeps that heat inside the place instead of it going on up the chimney. You'd better have a very big place if you're going to use a double barrel system that you need to heat up. Otherwise, the single barrel systems are going to put out a tremendous amount of heat. And I can tell you these things get extremely hot, and they burn a whole lot of wood. I mean, you can put a bunch of wood, great big pieces 3 feet long into a barrel, a 35-gallon barrel, 55-gallon barrel. Good grief, you could load it up and it'd probably last you a couple of days. So unless you need a lot of heat in your place, these probably wouldn't be good. But for a shop or for a larger cabin or something like that, 35-gallon barrel or 55-gallon barrel make you a really nice stove. Now you can get the kits. These have been produced for a long time. They're made by Vogelzang. Vogelzang also makes small cast iron wood stoves and parts for do-it-yourselfers. This will run you about $50 for a single barrel kit, and I think it's about $80 for a double barrel kit. They come with the cast iron legs that go underneath the barrel, and like I said, these have changed from when I built mine. These are now a solid piece. You just set the barrel on them, drill the hole screws up through it, and they even have mounting brackets if you needed to mount it directly to the floor. But they're made out of cast iron now instead of steel. That's a lot better. Now you also get the damper. It comes with the damper, cast iron, and that you can see that's what that was on the top of the barrel there. That's the sleeve, and it's supposed to have a cast iron damper in it like that, and that's what the kit comes with. It also comes with the door, and you'll get the door. It says Vogelzang on it, and as you can see, it's got a vent opening there at the bottom, adjustable vent opening, and it's got screw holes around it. So what you do is you lay that on top of the barrel, draw around the inside of the door opening for your template, take that back off, then you drill your holes all around the barrel, knock the hole out of the opening in the barrel. Same thing with the the collar there. Put that on the top of the barrel where you want it located. Draw around the inside of it, take it off, and then use your drill around those holes, knock out that opening so you have your collar on there. And it comes with the screws, bolts that you'll need, and it comes with the instructions on how to put the thing together. You can get a double barrel kit or a single barrel kit. These kits that they sell you will fit either a 35-gallon barrel or a 55-gallon barrel. So you don't have to get a different kit. If you want to use the 35-gallon barrel, you still use the same kit, the same doors, the same collar, and the same legs as you do for the 55-gallon kit. These are a really good way if you want to build a stove yourself, is to get these Vogelzang parts. Then you're not trying to manufacture parts that won't fit on a barrel correctly. They've been doing this for a lot of years. These parts are made to fit. They're angled just right so that they fit on a barrel. Really nice and pretty easy. You can put one of these together in a day and have yourself a pretty decent wood stove. Now, one this size was just too big for my cabin. A size of this 35-gallon stove would absolutely run me out of my cabin, and that's why I decided to go with one of these Camp Chef stoves, which is basically the same principle. What they've done is they made a barrel stove, but it's much smaller. It's 18 inches by about 2 feet long. Won't hold as much wood, but it'll still get you through a night. Has a nice flat cooktop. Now the Vogelzang kit doesn't come with a cooktop, but they make cooktops for these now. And you can actually get the flat cast iron cooktop and attach that to the top of the barrel, and you can use that for a cooking surface on top of the barrel. That would be really good if you're going to use one of these and you want to be able to make it multifunctional so that you can cook a meal on it as well. I'd get that extra kit, and I'm not sure how much they are. You'd have to look at the prices. Now the prices for both of these and the links, so that if you're interested in getting one of these, they're down in the information just below the video. Click on those and you can go see the websites, and you can get one of these kits for a barrel stove for making your own, or you can buy one of the Camp Chef stoves, or at least get some ideas for what might work for your situation. I really like these small stoves like this, and I like to do things myself, and so I'll be probably putting this together and using it for heating up a water or a hot tub, but I'm going to go get me a new barrel, because this barrel's had its usefulness. It's rusted through on the bottoms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get me another barrel, another 35-gallon barrel, and I'm going to use that kit I got there, and I'm going to make me another Vogelzang barrel wood stove. So check out the links, and good luck with your stove. Now if you're interested in a regular wood stove and you don't want to put one together, then I'd look at some used ones, the double wall stoves. You might be able to pick one up on eBay or one of the auction websites, or something like that, for a small amount of money. If you go buying a new one, those wood stoves are doggone expensive. You'll get into $800 to $1,000 for a real nice wood stove. One thing I would warn you about, if you're working off solar power like I am for the cabin, a lot of the stoves require a blower in order to be efficient. Blowers are motors, and they use a lot of power. They're not going to be very efficient running off a solar power system. If you're not running off solar power system, then one with a blower in it would be a better idea. These kind of stoves that are single wall stoves like this, they put out more heat than a double wall or a triple wall stove without a blower. You don't need a blower on these. They just circulate the heat. As the cool air moves around the stove, it collects the heat, and that circulates up through the cabin. So I won't need a blower on my stove. But if you want one with a blower, they're good. And they make lots of different models, so I'm not even going to try and recommend a wood stove model. Vogelzang even makes a really nice wood stove that's called a Durango. It's about $800. Real nice double wall wood stove that has fire brick in the bottom of it that'll last you 12 hours. You might look into one of those if you're looking for a wood stove. Okay folks, those are a couple of ideas that you can use for a small cabin, or if you're going to be bugging out, or if you're going to be camping a lot, you might want to look into one of those small barrel stoves. If you got a shop or a bigger cabin, you might want to make you a barrel stove out of the Vogelzang kit. And I hope those are some useful ideas to you.